Welcome back to Cold Crimes and Spirits. I'm Nina.
And I'm Andrea.
Once upon a time, February of 2002 to be exact, in a land known as Noble, Georgia, about 80 miles northwest of Atlanta, authorities were about to discover something gruesome. Over 300 decomposing bodies at a local crematorium.
Oh my god.
Right? Also, Georgia? It's like hot. So I'm like, the smell,
Hotlanta.
Hotlanta, decomp.
Dude, what time of year was this?
It was in February, but still.
So not bad, but I don't know how long they had been there, so.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them had been there for a hot minute. So
a hot minute.
This is a bizarre tale of a man who, instead of cremating the bodies like he was supposed to, was instead stashing them all around his property, leaving them to rot.
Did I tell you about the picture of Jesus?
No?
What? I never told you the story?
No.
I was at the thrift store, and I was looking at frames, because you never know what you'll find over there.
Yeah.
And, I found this frame that had this picture of Jesus that has this sacred heart on it with, like, the thorns wrapped around it and, like, a cross. It's like a lot of traditional artists do this tattoo. Like, a lot of people get the sacred heart tattooed, but it's like Jesus. And Mom took it out of the frame, and she was like, stick it in your purse. And I was like, oh. I was like, Mom, I can't. I can't steal a picture of Jesus. And I especially can't steal a picture of Jesus from a thrift store. I just don't want the frame, so I'm gonna ask them if they want to charge me like 50 cents or $1 for the picture. I'll pay that. Like, I just don't want the frame.
Yeah.
So I get up to the counter, and I'm giving the guy all my stuff, and I bought some stuff for shaky knees, like a hat that I never wore, but I may wear it at the beach, you know. And then I bought a blanket, but I never took it because I didn't want to lug it around. But it was $1 because, none of those had prices on it. So he rings up everything, and then I have the hat, the blanket, and the picture of Jesus. And I give him the hat and the blanket, and he's like, $1 for each. I'm like, that works. Bet. And then I'm like, hey, I don't want the frame. I just want this picture of Jesus, but I didn't want to steal it. You know, that's not right. And
that's bad. It's a picture of Jesus.
And he was like, he started laughing, and he was like, don't worry about it. Just have it. You can have it. And I was like, thanks. That makes me feel so much better.
But hey, at least you tried to do the right thing, and then you ended up getting it for free anyway.
Here, I'm going to send you a picture of it.
Oh my goodness. You did not tell me that.
Yeah, this happened like 2 weeks ago because it's on my wall. I have it on. I have it like, I'm taking a picture of it right now to show you. But yeah, I'm an old person now, I guess, because every time I go to the thrift store, I go and check out the frames and the mugs and the like knickknacks and the clothes.
Oh, that's the best part of the thrift store. Like, forget the clothes, because for me, I have to dig so much to find something in the clothes that I actually want.
See, you know what I've been doing, dude? Since I work at a print shop, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get things that you can either wear to work or that you can't get from work. So no t-shirts. So I only go to look at jeans, dresses, and like nicer shirts, I guess, like dressier shirts. And I skip over all the t-shirts and shit. And sometimes I go pajamas because it's always nice to have a nice set of pajamas.
Oh yeah, I love pajamas. Yeah. My favorite thing at the thrift store is the knickknacks, which I'm always looking for Halloween themed stuff, like all year. I'm looking for that. That's what I mainly look for.
Dude, I can get you stuff. I've been finding so much Halloween shit. I just haven't bought it. I can buy you shit.
Yeah, I mean, send me pictures, because I like more like vintage looking Halloween stuff.
Well, you're awful with your fucking phone, so if I send you a picture, you'll probably respond hours later, and I won't be there anymore.
Pretty much. My phone's always on silent.
But go check Facebook right now. I sent you that picture. I want you to see the picture of Jesus.
Oh yeah, I've seen that picture before. I feel like Momo has that on something.
It's a classic picture, and someone says it's a meme picture too online,
I'm
like
sure.
the internet. That's like the classic meme picture. But I was like,
it's good that you got it for free though. It's good that you didn't just steal it. That would have been
I
so
thought
messed
about it.
up.
I almost put it in my purse, dude. I almost did, and I was like, no, this feels so wrong. Like,
well, if you had stole it, then went home and hung it on your wall, every time you looked at it, it would have been like Jesus staring you down in your room every night, and eventually you would have just took it off your wall and like.
I would have felt guilty every time I looked at it. Yeah. Okay, disclaimer. Dun dun dun. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about in this episode may be a little hard to hear. Just a heads up. So, you've been warned.
You've been warned. The Tri-State Crematorium was founded by a man named Tommy Marsh. It was located...
All I can hear in my head when you said that was, Tommy Marsh! Hey, Tommy!
reminds me of South Park, like Randy Marsh. Like, Stan's dad.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I was like, that kind of sounds weird and funny. Anyways, Tommy Marsh.
The Tri-State Crematorium was founded by a man named Tommy Marsh. It was located in his backyard. His home was...
That's weird.
that he had the...
Go buy a fucking lease a space. Come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a crematorium in my backyard.
Come on, your backyard, man? Dead bodies? Nah, dog.
Right. Totally creepy. Like, I wouldn't want that in my backyard. I wouldn't want to look out and see that or smell that. Yeah. And, like, burning bodies literally steps away from your house. But, I mean, I guess beats the commute. Like, if you had to drive somewhere.
True. If you gotta be at work at 9, you just gotta make sure you're up by, like, 8:55.
Throw on some clothes. Or, hell,
you can throw on clothes, take a piss, and make a cup of coffee. By the time you walk back to your backyard, it's time to work.
Yeah. Alright, so... according to multiple reports, Tommy Marsh and his family were very well respected in the community.
Okay, Scooby-Doo.
Okay. According to the Chattanoogan, an attorney said that the state did an inspection of the crematory in 1983 and found that the incinerator was practically new. He said Tommy Ray Marsh in 1986 was asked to serve on a committee for regulation of crematories. He said he ran for coroner in 1992 and got 46% of the vote. What?
Every time 1992
Sorry,
comes
I
up,
didn't even
it comes
catch
up,
that.
bro. It comes up so much in my life, and I don't know if I'm a fucking loser. I probably am for being like, "Hey, 92, let's go!" But like, rep the fucking 90s. What up, 30-year-olds? How you doing?
How many episodes have we?
There's been a lot, and it's been like fucking 92. It's been like 5 out of like 12. It's almost been like half at least. I swear to God. Like,
why not 1991? Like, forget about my year.
I know you never get mentioned.
No, I never get any love. What's up with 1991? Anyways.
That happened at Shaky Knees. I saw this band called Diggable Planets. You should check them out. They're like from the 90s. And they're like, hey, we're playing this album that we recorded in 1992 and 1993. And I was like, woo, 92!
And everybody else around you is probably like, what?
Yeah, they were
what
like,
is she so excited
they were
for?
like, damn, these people are old. I was like, oh my God.
Now
I feel even older. Because I'm like, ooh, that's when I was born. Like, you were probably like 20. So yeah, you're 20 years older, but like, I'm 30.
I'm 30.
I'm 30. About to be 31.
Oh.
This was the only crematorium in the area, and it served funeral homes located in Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama, hence the Tri-State. In 1996, Tommy Marsh fell ill and could no longer run in the business. So he turned it over to his son, Brent Marsh.
Brent Marsh was a high school football star who played for the Lafayette High School Ramblers. He was also captain of the track team, so he's very athletic. He was awarded a scholarship to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga to play football as a linebacker. Brent Marsh was in his third year at UTC when he had to leave to take over the family business.
Things seemed to be going smooth at the crematorium until the year of 2000, when a man...
Y2K, man.
Yeah, dude. That's why I was like, ooh, 2000's been popping up too.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was going smoothly until 2000, when a man named Gerald Cook made a propane delivery to the Tri-State Crematory. He had to venture into the very back of the property in search of the propane tank that he needed to fill. And he ended up getting out of his truck to look around a building for the propane tank.
And according to an article by the Tifton Gazette, Cook said he saw trash and debris that had been pushed into a pile by a nearby backhoe, but it was what was mixed in with the trash and debris that was unsettling. The article stated Cook saw human skulls clearly visible, some with patches of hair and skin still clinging to the bone.
Ew.
Others bleached white and bare. Yeah. He even saw bones that he could not identify in the mixture.
Ugh. Gross.
And his nightmare deepened at the sight of whole bodies with tissue desperately clinging to their bones.
That must look disgusting.
I've actually seen, we had to go to a cadaver lab one time for in school, and I thought, so they made us watch this video before we could go to the cadaver lab, and it was a video of an actual autopsy. I mean, they were cutting the body. I mean, you could see the fatty tissue. It was intense.
Like real life?
Real life, yeah. Like, this girl passed out watching the video before we even got to the cadaver lab. Like,
That's
she passed
crazy.
out during the video. Yeah, it was graphic. It was very graphic. I hadn't eaten anything that day, so my stomach, it kind of turned my stomach a little bit, and I was like,
but you were like,
crap.
I think it's because I'm hungry.
Yeah, definitely. If I had ate, I would have been fine. But I didn't pass out.
Bitches.
I got through it. Yeah. But I can only imagine what he saw, because that video was pretty bad. And then when we got to the cadaver lab, it wasn't as bad as the video. Like, the video was worse.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the cadaver lab itself didn't bother me at all. It was the video.
That's strange.
But yeah. Anyways, this guy, he's just like, I'm just trying to do my job and fill up this propane tank.
I just saw a bunch of flesh and bones and bodies. What the fuck?
Yeah. He's like, the horror. Like, what the hell am I witnessing right now? So he just wanted to get the heck off that property.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
So, according to this article, Brent Marsh realizes that Cook's on the property, and he comes and finds him, and he directs him towards the propane tank. Cook filled up the tank and he left, and when he got back to his office, he told his boss what he saw, and the next day the two men went to report
good, so they did tell
whatever this was, to the Walker County sheriff. He was like, I know it's a crematory, but
this is weird.
You don't expect there to be bodies laying around the property, that's not normal.
That's why I'm delivering y'all propane, so y'all can burn these bitches. Why are they just out here?
Yeah, so
unless he was like, oh, y'all must have been out of propane for a while.
Yeah, either way,
it's weird. It's sus.
Yeah, it definitely freaked this guy out. Despite being creeped the hell out, Cook tried his best to put the matter out of his mind, assuming the police would just take care of things if there had been a crime committed. He didn't have to deliver propane to the crematory again for about a year.
I wonder
why. Well, I think I read something about him taking the summer off, and then it got put on other people's routes. I don't know how that all works, but it didn't end up on his route for about a year. And during that year, a few other deliveries had been made to the crematory, but other people had to do it, not him. And no one liked delivering there, so they usually got in and got out pretty quick,
I mean, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
I don't know. I don't know how it would be. It
I
wouldn't.
mean, I guess the souls are gone. We're just souls living in a flesh body. So.
Yeah. Like, honestly, crematories and funeral homes, they don't really freak me out.
They don't either. They just made me sad.
I think, yeah, they made me sad, but they don't freak me out. But I mean, if I went on a property and just saw, random bodies laying out where they shouldn't be, I'd be a little unsettled. I'd be like, that's...
And the smell.
It's disrespectful. Yeah,
You
and
did
the
say
smell,
the
I wouldn't want
smell.
to smell. It ends up one day, back on his route. He didn't really want to go back there, obviously.
Yeah.
But he was like, nah, it's okay. He convinced himself, if anything was wrong or crime had been committed, the police would have taken care of things and everything would be fine by now. It's been a year. But boy, was he wrong.
As reported by the Herald Tribune, Sheriff Wilson stated, "If somebody tells me they saw bodies at the crematory, that's what a crematory is. A place for bodies."
I love your accent.
I mean, I'm from Georgia, so I didn't really have to change much. Just a little twang. A little sheriff twang, I guess. It wasn't that great.
Sheriff twang. It's a new language. It's a thing. But yeah, no, this guy, he basically was like, when they reported it to him, he was basically like, so they saw bodies at a crematory. Like, that's what it's for.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably what the police were going to say anyways. Like, it's not suspicious. That's their job.
And I mean, I'm sure they had a lot of other stuff going on, so, like, checking out...
a crematory for dead bodies...
checking out a complaint...
is kind of silly.
It didn't seem relevant.
Yeah.
But this time, Cook was going there to deliver the propane, and he knew exactly where the propane tank was. So he went straight to it, and according to the Tifton Gazette, while Cook was waiting for the tank to fill up, he spotted a John Deere backhoe on the Marsh property, like the one he owned, and he walked over to give it a closer look, and when he did, guess what he saw?
What?
Another body just laying out in the open.
Another one.
Yeah. He started feeling sick, like the same sick he had the last time he was there, and so pretty much he just finished filling up the tank and got the heck out of there. His intuition was
like, something's off.
So at the time, he thought the police had taken the report seriously, but after seeing yet another body, he decided this time he had to report it to someone else.
So Cook decided to tell his Aunt Faye Deal, who, according to the Tifton Gazette, worked as the Information Management Assistant with the Federal Bureau of Investigation Office in Rossville, Georgia. She suggested they call the Environmental Protection Agency's regional office in Atlanta because bodies need to be disposed of properly, or it could pose a risk to the environment and the health of the people and animals living in that environment. Which makes sense. There's toxic fumes and gases that come off of decomposing flesh, like...
Yeah, and sometimes they're riddled with diseases. I mean, you never know.
That's also true.
So that's who they called, the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA for short. And they're also a government agency, and their job is to protect human health and the environment. And according to their website, they work to ensure Americans have clean air, land, and water. So thank you, EPA, for that.
Yeah, thank you, EPA.
So Deal spoke with an EPA investigator named Frank Garcia, and according to the Tifton Gazette, Deal did not feel like he took her report seriously at first. Sounds familiar?
Yep.
Same thing the sheriff's office did.
Very familiar.
Again, probably because you're saying, there's bodies at a crematory. So I kind of get why they didn't take it serious, but I still would have been like, okay, well...
something's off. It's not normal.
Because the bodies don't need to be seen
outside,
by the public.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah. If bodies are outside at a crematorium,
that's weird.
There's something up. Yeah, you should check it out. But anyways, she realized he wasn't taking her serious, so she told him that she was walking her dog and found a human bone, because she thought, like, maybe that would sound more serious.
Yeah, than a dead body.
Yeah. So Garcia called the sheriff's office, the same sheriff's office that didn't do anything a year before, and they ended up sending out an officer this time to investigate the complaint.
Okay.
This officer went to the Marsh home on the property and spoke with Clara and Tommy, Brent's parents. He told them about the complaint, and they told him they were no longer in charge as a crematory, that their son was now in charge, and that he was out of town at the moment. The officer glanced around the property as he was leaving and looked over at the crematory and saw that the driveway was secure with like a cable and a lock or something like that. And he left, reporting that he didn't find anything. But he didn't really look either, you know? So he glanced.
Yeah.
When Cook saw the bodies, he was well into the property, like near the woods in the property.
Yeah, like back in it.
Like near the woods in the property. Yeah, like way back in the property. He wasn't like just glancing as he walked by. So, the officer left, and that was that.
On February 14th, 2002, an EPA agent named Robin Heaton happened into Dill's office. He was there to speak with FBI agents about another case that they were working on. After he left her office, Dill got Heaton's phone number and called him. He didn't answer, but she left him an anonymous message all about the Tri-State Crematory.
And buddy, he got the message. The next day, Heaton and one of his coworkers, Larry Anderson, decided to take a little trip to the Tri-State Crematory.
A little trippy poo.
Now, unlike police, they didn't need a warrant to search the property. So EPA is kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
If they felt like there may be a threat to the environment, that's all they needed. And they did not let anyone, including other law enforcement agencies, know they were making the trip.
Oh shit.
And shit was about to hit the fan.
Oh
yeah.
shit. It's about to go down.
So when Heaton and Anderson arrived on scene, they were probably not prepared for what horrors they were about to uncover. Even though they had an anonymous tip that there may be something weird going on,
no idea.
No one expected this. Yeah. According to the Chattanooga Times Free Press, what they found were coffins stacked in piles with bodies still inside. One man's body was found halfway inside the crematory oven. Some bodies were still in hospital gowns with identification bracelets on their wrists. One body that was discovered on the property was in a casket in the back of a broken down hearse.
They just gave up on that one. They were like, all right, we got you here. This hearse don't move. You're staying here.
Another body of a very tall man lay decomposing in a wooden crate, still wearing his jacket and tie, and the skeleton of a baby was found at his feet. And bodily fluids were everywhere. Can you imagine?
Yeah, like...
That would freak me out. Not like the fact that there's dead bodies, like I said, funeral homes. Funeral homes, and stuff like that. And, like, just going there doesn't really freak me out. But bodily fluids freak me out so bad.
No, they're gross. Ugh. Nasty.
Yeah, I have OCD, so I'm a germaphobe. I'm not about that. I would not be able, even with a freaking suited up, whatever, hazard suits.
Yeah, for real.
I wouldn't even be able to go near there. No. Mm-mm.
According to the Chattanooga Times Free Press, Walker County Sheriff's Detective Walter Hensley said, "It was like something out of a Stephen King novel. Every building you opened had bodies."
I love your accents.
Thanks. So, if he wasn't cremating the bodies, what was he giving back to the family's loved ones? Like, the urns were returned containing dust, but what was that? It's not their loved ones' ashes, so what the fuck?
Yeah, it was cement dust.
Wow, what a fucking scam artist. I'd be so pissed. I'd be so mad.
So mad.
Like, if we had Pawpaw cremated, which we never would because he has a spot, and we got cement dust, and we found out it was cement dust. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
People keep that in, like, a necklace. Some people will keep that, like, in their hat. Like, some people spread it thinking it's their loved one. Like,
also, you want to know that your loved one was taken care of. Like, even though they're gone, like, you want to know that their body was taken care of respectfully. Like, in, like, pretty much all cultures, people have, like, the utmost respect for their dead. I can't imagine. Like, I would be beyond pissed.
Yeah, it's very disrespectful. Yeah.
Obviously, the whole crematory was an environmental hazard because of all of the bodies and the bodily fluids leaking everywhere.
Yeah, not healthy. Very unhealthy.
Very. So, there was a massive cleanup that took place, costing around $10 million.
Bullshit. Million?
No, million. $10 million
That's
to clean
insane.
up. Yeah. When all was said and done, 334 bodies were recovered, but per WSB-TV, only 226 have been identified.
Shout out WSB-TV, the realest news station in Atlanta. Glenn Burns, what up?
What up? According to findagrave.com, the uncremated remains of the bodies found at Tri-State were laid to rest properly in March of 2004 at the Tennessee-Georgia Memorial Park in Rossville, Georgia.
Virginia.
I was about to
I
say
heard
Virginia.
that. Nope, not. It's GA, not VA. Okay, K.
Yeah.
At first, prosecutors struggled with what to charge Brent Marsh with because he didn't murder these people. And desecration of a corpse was not a felony in Georgia in 2002. But don't worry, it is now. Thanks, Brent.
According to the Chattanooga Times Free Press, the prosecutors decided Marsh could be held financially responsible for taking money and not fulfilling the contract and not returning the bodies, because he returned them as semen dust.
He lied.
At first, Marsh was charged with 5 counts of theft by deception, but as the bodies piled up and they kept finding more and more bodies, prosecutors researched the laws and the count grew to 787 felony charges.
Holy shit.
That's
so many charges. Oh my god.
So many. And they only found 334 bodies, but he has 787 felony charges. Anyways, 179 counts of abuse of a corpse, 439 counts of theft, 122 counts of burial service fraud, and 47 counts of making false statements.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now, in Georgia, because of this case, it is now a felony to throw away or abandon a corpse. And if you do this, you could serve up to 3 years in prison.
If you didn't know, now you know. At each of Marsh's court hearings, outraged family members gathered outside. Marsh had to wear body armor to and from those court hearings because it got so crazy. Marsh's case never went to trial, and he was offered a deal and he took it.
Yeah, so he took the deal, and Brent Marsh was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and get this, 75 years probation.
Oh my god, he'd be dead.
I have never heard of someone being on probation for that long. I mean, he's going to be on probation the rest of his life.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
Yeah, some people wanted him to, be in prison for life or receive the death penalty. I mean, the families definitely didn't feel like this was enough. While he was in prison, he was also ordered to write apology letters to all of the families affected by his misconduct.
Good. I'm glad. Hopefully they were heartfelt and fucking sincere.
Yeah, it didn't even scratch the surface, so I think some families did say they forgive him, but they can't forget, obviously.
It's hard.
It's not something...
You can't sweep that under the rug. You're already fucking grieving. Put that on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these families had to basically go through this twice. They had to, they bury their loved ones and thought that was that. And then it comes back up and they have to do it all over again. Can you imagine?
I could not imagine doing that twice. That's almost like when you take back someone that breaks your heart over and over again and you just keep going through the heartbreak and you're it's like you're grieving over again. It's like the same thing with a dead one or a dead family member. You think you bury them and then you have to do it over again and you have to do no.
Yeah, it's too much.
Once is enough, I'll tell you that.
For sure. Well, although 12 years in prison didn't seem like enough for most of the families, he did end up serving every bit of it. You know how some people get out early for good behavior and stuff? He had to serve every day of his sentence. He did not get paroled early or anything like that.
Good.
He was released, though, in 2016. So how did this monstrosity happen? According to an article by the Washington Post published in 2002, as this horror was unfolding, it stated that the Tri-State Crematory was never licensed or inspected and that was not in violation of Georgia state law. The article goes on to say that because of a gray area in a 10-year-old state law, exempts Tri-State and 4 other Georgia crematories from regulation because they are subcontracted by funeral homes and do not deal directly with the public. According to the Chattanooga Times Free Press, after all this unfolded, legislators from Georgia and other states scrambled to tighten regulations and pass laws that would allow officials to monitor crematories and the owners' licenses. Because of what happened in Noble, any crematory in Georgia now must have a license that is renewed every 2 years, and the facility must be inspected at least once a year. A licensed funeral director also must work at the facility.
Well, hey, the silver lining out of all of this is now they have better rules and regulations and guidelines and fines for things that weren't even thought of back then.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy that it took
That
this happening to put those laws in place.
But they probably never thought that would ever happen. You know, they were like, no one's going to do this. Why would anyone do this?
Right. It's like incomprehensible. Yeah, but apparently, like, I think his father, Tommy Ray Marsh, was licensed, like a licensed funeral director at some point, but he let his license, like, you have to keep them renewed every so often, and he just didn't renew it after a while. Probably around the time he was getting sick and everything, and he just, let it go. There wasn't good regulations in place.
Yeah.
So it just kind of slipped through the cracks there.
Brent Marsh was not even a licensed funeral director.
Yeah, so he took over the business, and really he should have been licensed
but he wasn't
to take over the business. No, he wasn't.
So when all of this came to light, it angered the people even more. People were also angry with the funeral homes as well because they sent their loved ones' bodies to an unlicensed facility. It was just a really messed up situation all around.
They were mad because they felt like the funeral homes should have checked to make sure that the place that they were sending the bodies was licensed, because they were the ones subcontracting.
At least.
Yeah.
At least licensed.
Yeah.
Well, also, Marsh never really said much or has offered any explanation for why he did what he did. All he said at his sentencing was, I can't give you the answers that you want, but I can apologize.
So there are several theories about why this happened. Some said that Brent Marsh was probably bitter about having to leave college and playing football to take care of the family business. Some said maybe he was just lazy, but that didn't make sense either, because cremating the bodies would have been easier than stashing them around his property.
Exactly. You just throw it in a fire.
Yeah, lugging around the bodies on your property,
figuring out
digging
places
holes
to put them. Extra work.
Extra work doesn't make sense. So don't think he was lazy. Brent himself, when all this first happened, even said that the crematory machine was broken. But after an inspection of the facility, it was found that this was also untrue, and that it was actually in working condition. Like, it had its flaws,
but it could have worked.
It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Yeah. So that was a lie. He
that was also a lie. Maury says that was a lie. The DNA detector states that was also a lie. Sorry. That's what my brain went to Maury as soon as you were like, that was a lie.
I love Maury.
Me too. R.I.P. Jerry Springer, though. Trash TV for life.
R.I.P. Jerry.
Put it in reverse, Jerry. Come back. I'm weird, sorry.
I thought that was cute. Put it in reverse, Jerry. Come back. I like that. A few years after everything went down, according to the Chattanoogan, in 2007, Brent Marsh's attorney, Ken Poston, claimed mercury poison may be to blame for this bizarre case.
How?
Poston said he believes that unhealthy conditions at the crematory led to the death of his father, Tommy Ray Marsh, and turned the younger Marsh into a modern-day Mad Hatter. Now, if you don't get this reference to the Alice in Wonderland character, back in the day, like way back in the day, like 18th century, according to the History Channel, industrial workers used a toxic substance called mercury nitrate as part of the process of turning the fur of small animals such as rabbits into felt for hats.
After prolonged exposure to the mercury, it could cause a variety of health issues, including strange and unusual behavior. This is where the term mad as a hatter comes from.
Mad as a hatter. In 2004, Poston got Brent Marsh to submit a hair sample that he sent off to test for mercury. He didn't tell Marsh what the hair sample was for at first. When he got the test back, the mercury levels were pretty much normal. However, there were very high values of other minerals in his system, such as aluminum, arsenic, lead, and nickel.
God, what?
Yeah. Per the Chattanoogan, research has shown that in some hair tests of known victims of mercury exposure, the test for mercury itself often reads low, but the effect of mercury causes other metals to show unusually high values.
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay.
Yeah, so basically was mercury exposure or mercury poison, but where he had been away from the crematory for a couple of years, because this is after he was in prison for a couple of years, the levels, like the mercury itself, the levels had gone down.
Didn't show up, it was low, but the other levels were higher. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so apparently that's how it works.
That's how they know.
Yeah, so apparently maybe it was mercury poison. Per the Cremation Association of North America, the way that mercury becomes a part of the cremation process is through silver amalgam dental fillings found in many dead human bodies.
Makes sense.
This would then produce emissions that contain mercury, and if the crematory is not properly ventilated, which the Tri-State was not, it could cause the crematory operator to be exposed. So,
go figure.
And this explanation seems to be the most logical explanation to the Tri-State Crematory Scandal.
What, that he was like under mercury poisoning?
Yeah. Because his dad got sick, and like the way his dad got sick was consistent with potential mercury poisoning. So basically, this explanation seems to be the most logical to the Tri-State Crematory Scandal. And if this is indeed the case, then Tommy Ray Marsh and Brent Marsh were kind of also victims of circumstance, you know?
Yeah, that kind of sucks. They were just trying to do something that backfired.
I mean, they also should have been licensed and stuff like that, but...
yeah, they should have known what they were doing.
But this is an interesting case nonetheless, and when I was doing research, I came across this article on Grunge.com, and they had put together a great article on this, and it actually had links to tons of other articles where they had gotten their information. So we were able to read some of these other articles, and they offer so much more detail about this case than we can fit into one episode. So if you want to know more, check out this story on grunge.com and read the other articles as well. And I'll link the story to grunge.com in the show notes so you can check it out, because there's so much more that we're not even mentioning in this episode.
Go check it out yourself if you're interested in this. It's a pretty weird thing. But that's a wrap.
We did the damn thing.
Yeah, we did.
So next week, it's Andrea's birthday.
I don't even care about my birthday this year. Like, you know how I'm usually always like, it's my birthday month, I do what I want.
I never care about my birthday either.
Next week is my birthday. My birthday. So what are we doing?
We're doing a fun episode about random stuff, random weird stuff that happened on Andrea's birthday.
Woo woo.
We're also discussing a serial killer that Andrea shares a birthday with.
Yeah, and you guys will definitely know who the fuck he is. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, pretty popular.
I don't know if I should be that proud. Honestly.
I share a birthday with a serial killer.
Yeah, go me.
Go me.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some crazy shit next week in honor of my birthday.
Yeah, we're gonna take shots. We're gonna have fun.
I'm turning 31. That rhymed.
Woo! It's your Halloween birthday.
Stay spooky.
Yeah, stay spooky until next week, and then we'll get turned up. We'll celebrate Andrew's birthday.
Hell yeah.
And we'll keep it going.